Are you an OBS user who is trying to create a circular camera overlay? So perhaps you are doing a demonstration or you're sharing your screen and you would like to be able to show a nice circle. So you can still be on the screen and talk to your audience while you do a demonstration or share something with them. Well, OBS does not have a built-in circle pip like this, but you can add it pretty quickly. So you can use what's called an image mask, and that's what I'm going to show you today. It's all about how you can create a circular camera in OBS. So I'll show you how do you actually make one, which is really easy. And then you can add it to your camera as a filter or an overlay. And then you're going to have your circular camera, but I'm actually going to share a time-saving and I think headache-saving tip, because when I first started to learn it, I was actually kind of guessing where the circle would be. And now I've got a tip so you can avoid all of that and do this much faster. So that is what we are going to talk about today and some of the ways that you can actually use it. And if we have time, I'll show you how you can make a little border to go around your circle pip. And you can make that customized in the color that you want. Now, if you are new and you've never met me before, my name is Kat, and I help people to create more professional and engaging online presentations. And I think being able to show your face while you're doing a demonstration is one of the ways that you can sort of level up your presentation, because not everyone is doing this, especially on Zoom calls where that is not expected. So it's nice to see all of you here in the chat who are here live today. If you have you ever used this? I would love to know. If you're an OBS user, have you used the circular image mask before? And let's get into the demonstration. And instead of starting with making this image mask, which you'll see in a moment, I'm actually going to start in OBS because this is the part of my trick. This is where you're going to save yourself some time and headaches. So I have a blank OBS kind of scenes here. I'm going to move this over a little so you can see it. And I'm going to start by adding my camera. So let's add my camera source. So that's a video capture device. And in this case, I'm going to be adding my Sony, which is my main camera. But you might be aware, if you've ever seen a demo before, I crop my camera in because I got stuff in this camera shot I don't want to show you, but you're about to see it. So when I pick this, my Camlink 4K, you can actually see there's a lot around me. And so I want to cut some of that out, but I don't want to do that without first. So this is where I'm going to add my camera overlay. It's going to be over this image. So I'm going to resist the urge to crop this picture. Now I am going to make it full screen. And if you do want a little trick, so Command, I'm not sure for Windows, maybe Control F will do that full screen. It'll just pop and fill. So what I am going to do first is actually take a screenshot of this image as it is. And we're going to use that to help create our image mask. And you'll see why this is so helpful in a moment. So I'm going to take a screenshot. So let's grab all around the red. I want the full thing. So I've now taken this screenshot. So that's the first step. Now we are going to open PowerPoint because I'm going to show you how to make an image mask in PowerPoint. This is one of the easiest ways. A lot of people have PowerPoint already. It's something that's accessible, but you can use other things. You can use Canva, you can use Keynote. Really, we're just going to be making a picture where we have black and white. Now you can start to get into grayscale and other colors, but for today, we're just going to be creating this image mask where we're making a white circle with a black background. And once we add that to our camera, everything in the white circle will show up and everything that's in black will be hidden. So what we're essentially saying is hide everything around the circle. And that is what we're doing. I see down here, Patrick, OBS novice user, has not used it yet. Patrick, I'm surprised that you're saying you're a novice user. So we've got just a blank PowerPoint presentation. So this hack, I just took that screenshot. Now I'm going to bring the screenshot in. So I'm actually going to import a picture. So picture from file, we're going to go into my screen recordings, which are in order here. Oh, that's a great one. And then we are going to drag this and cover as much as we can. We're just, it doesn't have to be precise, but I am angling this here with this awkward screenshot of mine. But this is actually what I'm going to be applying this image mask to. So I want to choose the circle based on this picture. So now what I'm going to do is take a shape. Let's take a circle shape and hold down your shift key to make sure that it stays as an actual circle when you draw. That way it'll stay in a circle shape. And you're going to estimate and choose what size you want. So let's release that. And I'm going to hover this. I'm actually going to temporarily say no fill. And I am going to up the weight a little bit of this so I can see it better. So I'm going to use this circle as a way to adjust this to see where do I want, what part of me do I want showing in the circle. And you can kind of move this around and adjust it. So let's say that I want generally to be here. If I want a little more room, I can make the circle a little bit bigger, but this is actually very similar to the circle that I have right now. You can see that it kind of the V on my shirt is sort of at the bottom and there's not a lot of room around the top. So this is what I'm going to choose, but you get to choose what works for you. Once you've got that positioned, you can actually just delete the photo. So now what I am going to do is actually change the background because this circle is going to turn white. So I want to be able to see it. So let's format the background in PowerPoint, solid fill, but instead of white, we want a black background. Now I can still see this because it's blue, but we are going to change this to white. So we have the shape here. It's currently blue and we want a solid fill and we want our solid fill to be white. And then we can either take off the line or just turn the line white. But right now, what I have done without guessing where to place the circle is I know exactly where it's going to overlay on that camera frame. So that's it. I've just created the mask. Now, you can actually create different shapes. If you want to get fun, you want to have maybe a triangle, or maybe you want sort of a painted look where you've got there's all sorts of things you can do. You can absolutely do that. For the purpose of right now, I'm just going to show you the circle, but anything that's white is going to show up. It's going to show your camera. Anything black is going to mask that part of your camera. So that's how the image mask works. So now what we want to do is export this. So I'm going to go up to PowerPoint and say export. And I want to make sure the file format is actually a picture. So you could do JPEG or PNG. So I'm doing PNG and I'm going to say circle mask. Where did I save that? Okay, wait, I'm gonna do this one more time so I know exactly where I saved it. Oh, so this went under screen recordings. Okay, let's actually just put it on my desktop. So this time I'm gonna say circle, and you can see that I practiced this, circle mask. And it's not PDF, we wanna make sure it's PNG. So let's export that. Okay, so now it's on my desktop. It's a lot easier for me to access. We are going to put that down. So now we have my camera here. I'm actually gonna get rid of the double effect. So we have my camera in OBS. You can either right click on source, the source itself, or in the preview window, and we're going to apply a filter. And so this is an effect filter. So we click on the plus and we say image mask. And now I'm going to call this circle mask because it's a circle shape. You might have other shapes, other things that you do. And now I'm going to browse and pick circle mask, which I just created. And there you go. It has now everything that was black on that picture is now blocked out, but it's already sized exactly how I want. And a few other demonstrations that I've seen, people have just went in and they made a circle, and when they overlaid it, it wasn't where they wanted. So they kind of had to do a duck and dodge thing. This way, you don't have to do it. So import a screenshot of your camera first into whatever you are using, whether that's PowerPoint, Keynote, Canva, to create this image mask, but this is how you do this. So now you can see that the actual picture, it's bigger, but I've cut out everything around it. So now we can position things. So let's actually say that let's kind of replicate what I was showing before. So I have my circle here, and let's add a border. So I have my overlay pack that I'm going to bring over here. So I've got the blues and the brights. Let's take, because I've updated the circle pack so that it has these two circle overlays. Let's just drag and drop that over here. And we're going to stretch it until it's about the size we want, kind of bring it down here, adjust it. So I would say that looks lined up. And what you can do is actually grab both your overlay and the other one together, and you can actually group these which is a nice bonus. So now I can just move this together. So if I don't like where it is, I don't have to drag both of them. So this is a huge plus to be able to group these things together. They can hang together. That's pretty sweet, right? So now if you are setting up your scene, let's say I am demonstrating how to make something in PowerPoint, I can now add in my sources. I'm going to say window capture, and let's add my PowerPoint. We'll say that I'm going to do a demonstration in PowerPoint. So now I grab my window, I look for PowerPoint. Wow, there are a lot of options on here. Where's my PowerPoint? When I practiced this before, it was here, and now it's not. And okay, here, wait, let's open PowerPoint first. So let's just move it to the side for a second. Oh, come on. Well, it wouldn't be a stream if they weren't all showing. There we go. There's PowerPoint. So now we have PowerPoint. Let's do that Command F trick to get that centered. And then we're going to drag this down below so that now we have this. And remember, we've grouped. Oh, sorry. Let's lock this PowerPoint in place so I don't accidentally move it. But now if I click on this group, I can adjust how big do I want this circular pip to be. I want to make sure that it's not covering the controls. You could put it over here, but it might cover some of the controls. So I'm going to just kind of put that over here. So now I have created this scene so I can do my demonstration. I can have myself in the picture. And let's say I want to have another demo where I don't have myself. You have a couple of options. But what I'm going to do is just duplicate this scene and just say demo, no picture in picture, because I won't be in that one. And so in here, I'm just going to actually, you can either just hide these things, hide the group. So now it's just here, or you can actually delete them and not have them in the scene. So now I can switch between the demo. What? Where did my camera go? What? Oh, they hid. I was trying to hide them in this one. Oh, there we go. So you could switch between scenes so that you have your demo one where you are showing, and then you have your just demonstration if you want to hide yourself from the scene. So, okay, let's just see. Okay, this is basically the entire demonstration. However, actually, I'm going to go to this one, and I am going to, in my Ecamm, I'm going to show my circle pip here. So one of the things I want to show you is how else you might use this. So if you were doing a demonstration, say showing how to do that PowerPoint, you would use it. The other thing you could do is actually add a background and then put yourself as a camera overlay. So let's do that. Let's create another scene. So I'm actually just going to duplicate this, and let's take off the second camera. That's kind of trippy. So we are going to, on here, duplicate. Oh, here it is up here. So let's say that I want to give instructions for an activity, or people are joining on a call and I'd like to have some written text. So I say, yes, instructions. So I am going to get rid of this PowerPoint because I don't need that. Yes, I want to remove that. And in my overlays pack, I'm going to take a look. There's a background that has a circle in it. So I'm going to drag that. And then we just drag that down to the bottom. And so now you can have the border or no border, and I'm going to just lock that. And let's take this group and then move it. So what we can do is kind of resize this the way that we like it. And so you could do sort of a double border effect, or you could actually hide the border and just have the camera. And in this case, you can even, let's drag that up a little bit. You can kind of position it the way you want. So then the white actually creates its own border. And then on this side, you would add your instructions, tell people what it is that they need to do to get ready. Maybe you want people to say something in the chat. And in this case, you would just have it here, add the text on the side. But the nice thing about this option is, let's say I duplicate this again, and I can call this countdown. And for this one, I can have a countdown timer where I actually hide myself, and you could just put a countdown timer in this circle here. Isn't that pretty cool? Now I'm getting a message about my video signal. So I'm going to check on that because I'm not sure what's happening here. And if anyone is live in the chat, if you could let me know if something has happened to this video, because I'm getting an error message. So this is fun. Oh, live. I love I love live. Let's go back to my main camera for a second and just make sure that this is working. And what's the best way to do that? You know what? I'm just going to keep going. If it's cut off, it's cut off, and we'll deal with it later. So what I wanted to share is in PowerPoint, you can actually create a nice circle border really easily. And so okay, so there's a little bit of buffering. Thank you for that. I don't know if you could just see the panic come over me while I'm doing this live stream, but that was what's happening. So I do want to do one more demo. So that's how you do the image mask. That's actually how simple it is, how quickly you can make one. You want black is going to cover things, white is going to show things. If you start to use gray, the gray will be semi-transparent, so you can play around with grayscale a little bit. Thanks so much for for helping me, letting me know that there was some buffering, there was some lagging, but we're back. I don't know what's going on, the ongoing modem saga. So I'm going to open PowerPoint and I'm going to show you how you can make a simple border, because I know some people say, how do you make a border? I want to make a border like that. So let's go back to my screen here and I'm going to show you in PowerPoint how you can create a simple circle border. So let's actually just delete this slide because we don't need that right now. And we're going to add a new blank slide. So and I'm showing PowerPoint, but you can do this in Keynote. You can do this in, well, I haven't tried it in Canva. I'm sure you can. So let's take a shape. We're going to take a circle. Again, hold down Shift so that you can keep that circle shape. And then this is where this will be the color that you want. So this is where you can add your effects. So for example, if I want kind of a nice gradient effect, I can pick a gradient where maybe it's monochromatic or it's just blues, or like my circle that you can see kind of around me right now. I actually have two colors in a gradient, but you can see how that works. And then what we're going to do is cut a circle out of this circle. So let's do that where we have, let's do copy. So I'm just going to copy and paste. So I have another one, but this shape, I'm just going to make it a black circle so I can see it. Hold down Shift and just make it a bit smaller. You get to choose how much smaller you want it. Maybe I actually want this just to be a little bit bigger. And then you can, if you put it right in the middle, you'll be able to perfectly shape these so it will be a circle. Then you are going to grab both of these shapes, make sure both are selected, and you go up here in PowerPoint to merge shapes. And in PowerPoint, it's combine, and Keynote, it's subtract, whatever works. So now I have this shape here. And this is my circle border. But if you want, like right now, if you look at mine, I have the white around it because typically I'm working on dark backgrounds. So I like to have that white border around it. You don't have to, but you can. So what we're going to do, I'm going to open the format pane here. And the fill, we already have it the way we want it. So the line, right now it's actually a very faint blue line. And what I can do is actually bump up the weight so you can see it a little bit better. So now you see the border. And then I can actually change this to white. Now you can't see it with this background, but actually if I move it up, you can actually start to see when I lift it outside that it is coming up. You can see the white border around it. And then if you are using PowerPoint, all you actually have to do to export this without the background is right click on the shape and say save as picture. And so let's save that as a picture and we'll just put it here on my desktop and I'll call this blue circle border. And you can get creative. It doesn't have to be just this shape. Any kind of circle border can go over. So I've now saved this shape. So let's pop back over here and we'll go into, let's just do maybe a new one. So let's do a new scene. We'll call this border. And let's add our camera. So we're going to add the existing Sony camera, which still has the mask applied to it. And we'll make this a little bigger for this demonstration. And let's actually get rid of my double circle. Let's add this border. So on my desktop is where I stored it. And I think I called it blue. So drop that. There we go. And we can just kind of resize it and fit it right over. And then if we want to, again, remember we can select both of these and we can group these together. There you go. That's how easy this is. is, so if you are an OBS user, are you going to try this? Are you going to make your camera mask? And again, you can get creative. You can use different shapes. Oh, the quality has been diminished. Oh, damn it. I am directly connected to my internet through an Ethernet cable, and I upgraded my internet and I got a new modem. So even though I'm smiling, I am not happy with my cable company right now. I am hoping that you got the gist of it, and maybe what I can do is put together a short recorded video, but that is really what I wanted to teach you today. Thank you for those of you who stuck it out with me today through the buffering. And I don't actually know, aside from calling the cable company, which is the thing that I least want to do in the world. But I think enough got through so that you know how to create an image mask, so that in OBS you can create a circular camera overlay, and you now know how to quickly create a custom border. You can add your own colors, your own borders. Get creative. Don't just do what I did. Start playing around with different things. I really hope that you can have some fun with this, and this can help you to elevate the quality of your videos so they can be a little bit more professional and engaging. Thank you so much for those of you who joined me. And if you are watching the replay, let me know, did you give this a try? Did it work? I'd love to hear from you. Bye, everyone.